Well, it was 20-odd years ago in the mid-1990s. I was very struck and very moved when two close friends of mine, both male, both literary people, within a few days of each other, choked up when quoting a poem. And I thought, there's an anthology of this. This is really interesting. And I was far too busy ever to put it together. But a couple of years ago, my son Ben said, "Dad, this is a great idea. Let's do it together." And we have done, and we've had a lot of fun doing it.
We have had a lot of fun. And in the compilation of the book, I've discovered all sorts of fascinating things I didn't know about tears and why we cry. The male tear duct is bigger than the female tear duct, but boys cry less from the age of 10. We're the only species that cries. The tears that we emit walking down the street with wind blasting in our faces is different to the tears that we shed during moments of high emotion.
It's good for you to cry. It's like going to the emotional gym, isn't it?
Yeah,
Getting these things out of your system. No pain, no gain.
Yeah, Dad cries at the drop of a hat. I cry less, but as I get a bit older and doing this book and having kids, I find that the tear ducts are loosening up a little.
You started crying at your friends' weddings, haven't you?
Yeah,
whereas I was going to funerals, you're going to weddings.
That's true. But again, in those moments of high emotion and when humans gather for celebrations or fever pitch sorts of comings together, we turn to poetry, we turn to music. Poetry and music express things that we can't articulate, and that's what happens when we cry. It's when words fail us that tears spring out. They sum up what we can't.
Mm. To get 100 distinguished men, it was very important we teamed up with Amnesty International, who brought us some very good people, their supporters and some political prisoners. And they made the point that the first thing that repressive regimes do is arrest poets, because poets express freedom of speech.
There were times when tears were venerated as a sign of high moral worth in the Elizabethan era or in the 19th century. But the Victorian Empire kind of put an end to that, put the kibosh on that, and the stiff upper lip crept in. So I think although maybe the modern man is more inclined to express himself or expected to express himself, I think there's still a stigma, and I don't really get why, because it's as natural as laughing or anything else.
And I think the public response to this book, certainly in Britain, has certainly taken me by surprise, the scale of the publicity we've had, the print, radio, TV. And I think that is because it's struck some sort of chord where people agree with us. We've said, as well as introducing new people to poetry and introducing new poetry to people who already read it, we're out to abolish the British stiff upper lip.
The poem I've chosen is called Walking Away, and it's by Cecil Day-Lewis, written in 1956. The book has all sorts of things. There's something in it for everyone, and I think different poems touch people at different times of their lives. And I have young children. I have 5-year-old boy-girl twins, and this poem reminds me as a father of what lies ahead, but also as a son of what is behind me now. This is the poem, Walking Away. It is 18 years ago, almost to the day, a sunny day with leaves just turning, the touchlines new ruled, since I watched you play your first game of football, then like a satellite, wrenched from its orbit, go drifting away, behind a scatter of boys. I can see you walking away from me towards the school, with the pathos of a half-fledged thing set free into a wilderness, the gate of one who finds no path where the path should be. That hesitant figure, eddying away like a winged seed loosened from its parent's stem, has something I never quite grasped to convey about nature's give and take, the small, the scorching ordeals which fire one's irresolute clay. I have had worse partings, but none that so gnaws at my mind still. Perhaps it is roughly saying what God alone could perfectly show. How selfhood begins with a walking away, and love is proved in the letting go.
It's a very beautiful poem. I remember when I had to let you go. And I've chosen a love poem by John Donne called The Good Morrow. I wonder by my troth what thou and I did till we loved. Were we not weaned till then, but sucked we on country pleasures childishly, or snorted we in the seven sleepers' den? 'Twas so, but this all pleasure's fancies be. If ever any beauty I did see, which I desired and got, 'twas but a dream of thee. And now good morrow to our waking souls, which watch not one another out of fear. For love all loves of other sights controls, and makes one little room and everywhere. Let sea discoverers to new worlds have gone. Let maps to other worlds on worlds have shown. Let us possess one world, each hath one, and is one. My face in thine eye, thine in mine appears, and true plain hearts do in the faces rest. Where can we find two better hemispheres, without sharp north, without declining west? Whatever dies was not mixed equally. If our two loves be one, or thou and I love so alike, that none do slacken, none do die. I think it's very moving because it's a poem about, frankly, lust turning into love. Poet, presumably it's a man in bed with someone who's presumably a woman, watching her lying with him, still asleep, and then waking up, their eyes reflecting each other. It's a magic moment in a developing relationship. I find it very moving.